Everybody, we are following a live feed here from Eagle 8 HD, where dolphins have been stuck today in a St. Pete canal. Help efforts are currently underway by the FWC and volunteers to help get these dolphins far enough along the canal where they can be taken back out into open water. Hey there, everybody. News Channel 8's JB Buno here with you back live on WFLA Now. As you see here on your screen, this is live from Eagle 8 HD. Let's see if we can hone in here to exactly what is happening. This is the FWC and volunteers that are currently in the water in this line formation here. And what you can't really see right now, because the dolphins are under the surface, is these dolphins have been stuck in the St. Pete Canal, all morning long. And now these volunteers, along with the FWC, are paddling along in this line formation to escort them far enough along down this particular canal to get them into a transport vehicle, at which time they'll be taken in the transport vehicle back out into open water. We've been following this story all morning long on WFLA.com and the WFLA News Channel 8 app. Again, 4 adult dolphins and 1 calf have been creating quite the show for the St. Petersburg neighborhood here. The FWC, they first got a call that the dolphins were spotted in the canal between 77th and 78th Avenue near 4th Street North this morning. An officer at the scene told 8 on Your Side that it's pretty common to see manatees in these canals, but very, very highly unusual to see dolphins. They might have lost their way. They're trying to get back, according to officers, but as of right now, they cannot figure a way back out into open water. So the FWC and this team of volunteers, as you're seeing here on your screen, they are the dolphins. As we zoom in here, you can kind of see one of them. Again, there are 5 total, we believe, 4 adults and 1 calf. And there you look at this. On the bottom of your screen there you see all of the volunteers clapping their hands in the water, doing their very best to encourage the dolphins to get far enough down the canal into the transport vehicle. Here you see more of the dolphins here. One of the volunteers there, or maybe it was a member of the FWC, had a GoPro attached to their head. I'm sure that that's going to be some incredible video if we can actually get our hands on it. But right now, these dolphins have been stranded in this St. Pete Canal. And look at all of these volunteers here at the bottom of your screen, everybody. They're staying in a very tight line formation so that they don't get around them or through them to the other side of the line. This line in an attempt to get them far enough down the canal here. What I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna try to see if we can get Eagle 8 HD not just to show us here the dolphins, but also show us the transport vehicle here, perhaps, so that we can see exactly how much longer we have to go before getting from the vehicle or from the spot here. Okay, there it is right there. So they've gotten pretty far along. So what we're gonna see here is the dolphins be tended to by FWC officials, be put into the transport vehicle where they'll be taken back out into open water. So this is a live picture here from Eagle 8 HD, everybody, as 5 dolphins total, 4 adults and 1 calf. They're being pushed in this line formation far enough down the canal where FWC officials on site can properly transport them back out into open water. This is live here from Eagle 8 HD. There you see on the bottom of your screen the volunteers just clapping their hands repeatedly here, creating as much commotion as possible to help encourage the dolphins to keep moving in that direction towards the top of your screen. They've been at this now for quite a while. Eagle 8 HD getting there about 15 minutes ago. And they're very close. So if you're just joining us here on Facebook Live, everybody, hello there to you. JB Buno here with you live in the Stream Center. We're monitoring this feed here with you because it's not too often that you see this particular canal, again, between 77th and 78th Avenue near 4th Street North in St. Pete, get dolphins. Neighbors in this area say it's very common to see manatees, but dolphins to get this far into the canal, away from open water, it's not something they see every day. It got the attention of FWC officials, who are now on the scene and working to escort them into the vehicle, as you're seeing here, everybody. So they're getting them far enough down the canal where a team of FWC officials are here. There you see them on the right side of your screen. They're currently waiting to help the volunteers here get them into the transport vehicle where we believe that they are going to be taken to open water. Look at the amount of people here that have gathered here, too. We have quite the crowd here that has gathered. This has become quite the spectacle here in St. Pete today. A lot of you saying, good morning, JB. Good morning to everybody. Hope everyone is having an excellent Tuesday so far. We're here live in the Stream Center, monitoring Eagle 8 HD from St. Petersburg, Florida. Look at the crowd of people. There's, I believe, some of our news crews down there as well, currently working this scene. This is a story that has really captured the attention of a lot of folks in this neighborhood just because you don't see dolphins in this particular canal very often. These dolphins are stuck, and they have been stuck. And there was doubt among Fish and Wildlife officials as to whether or not they would independently be able to find their way back out into open water. It can be a potentially dangerous situation if these dolphins can't get back out into open water. So we might have a lot of the attention now. Okay, so now the Dolphins, so now we have a little bit of a predicament, don't we? So now the Dolphins have gone to the other side of this bridge here. The whole idea is to get them to this transport vehicle. Oh, so maybe the transport vehicle is actually further along the bridge. Because here you see the volunteers. They're approaching the bridge here now. So you see all the people here. They're scurrying across the bridge to get a better look here at the dolphins that have now are right here along these trees here. Let's go back here again, full screen. This is live, everybody, from Eagle 8 HD. Here's a group of them. Again, there are 5 dolphins total at this time. 4 of them and a calf. So there you see a couple of the FWC officials, actually 3 of them there. So I'm not exactly sure what the plan is at this particular point. We believe that the transport vehicle was here on the right side of your screen. But it looks like, okay, so now we're seeing the volunteers emerge on the other side of the bridge. So now they are continuing to encourage the dolphins further down the canal. Leanne asking in the comment section, can you tell if any of them are injured? There is no way for us to tell at this from Eagle 8 HD from here in the sky. If we hear anything, of course, from FWC, we'll let you know about it. So look at the crowd that is gathered here, everybody. This is all to see a very rare sight for this particular neighborhood. Waterways are, of course, extremely common here in our section of Florida. Canals, rivers, creeks, lakes. But folks who live in this area, in this neighborhood, they say that this is not something that you really ever see. Dolphins this far up the canal. And it's a problem potentially for the FWC. They don't want these dolphins to, of course, be put in harm's way. So they are going to be escorting them via transport vehicle back out into open water. WFLA top Facebook fan Jen Frazier, how will they transport them by vehicle? We've seen this a lot of times here on WFLA now where a marine animal in distress will be properly cared for by FWC officials who bring the necessary equipment on scene, the necessary transport vehicle to keep them, of course, in some sort of a submerged state to the point where they can continue to breathe, be kept safe as they're transported from one location to another. Of course, giving them the water that they need to survive. If you're joining us on WFLA's Facebook page, I know that there's a lot of you commenting along here with us here on WFLA Now. I want to give a shout out to Donna Franchetti, Cliff McAfee Jr., many others. I'm just currently bringing up all of our commenters here. Bonnie Kellerhouse, John Turney, Teresa Molinix, Pam Taylor, Vicky Payne. Let's see here. Sherry Horn, Kathleen Angelone, Jen Frazier, many others of you joining us here live on the Facebook page. Let's go here back to live from Eagle 8 HD. So now so interesting here. Now the Dolphins are getting a little bit more animated here. I'm not exactly sure as to what the plan is at the moment, everybody. We're kind of following this along here live with you. But there you see just the enormous crowd that has gathered here in St. Pete. So we've gotten up to this particular point of the canal. And now I guess we're going to find out exactly what happens here. What appears to be this end point up against this concrete structure. No, they're going to be going underneath the bridge. Imagine the GoPro video of what this is going to look like here. This is pretty wild. So there they are. Everyone's kind of talking amongst each other. There you see those concrete pillars there that are holding up this section of roadway here in St. Pete. The canal does continue, as you see here. Are they going to be going farther? Because the Dolphins right now are under the bridge, or they are going to be emerging on the other side of the bridge. Not exactly sure where we're going to go from here, but it's going to be interesting to see this all kind of happen in front of our eyes here. Again, this is live from Eagle 8 HD. There you see FWC officials. It looks like there might be some members of local law enforcement there on scene as well. And you can see here that the waterway is quite long. As we bringing a wide view here from Eagle 8 HD, everybody. Let's go actually back out there full screen to you. So there, now you see that there's a crowd of people that have gathered on the other side of this short bridge near 4th. I think that was 4th North, right? 4th Street North. So there you see the kayaker. That is an FWC official, along with the one individual there in the red. That is another FWC officials. We believe that a lot of the people here in the water are volunteers that are joining in to help out. And the Dolphins, we believe at this time, are right underneath the 4th Street North Bridge. There you see the 3 concrete pillars that are holding this center section of that roadway up over the water. And you see that a lot of them are still clapping their hands in the water. It'll be interesting to see exactly what the game plan is here. Everybody, Eagle 8 HD right now is actually searching for those dolphins. FWC officials might be, instead of transporting the dolphins individually, they might just be trying to get them out to open water, encouraging them far enough long down the waterway here to get them back towards open water. We had believed, based on the equipment that was there on scene, we believe that based on the equipment that was there on scene, that there might have been an attempt to get them into a transport vehicle to take them out into open water. That's what again, it's so hard to see when you're up in the sky from Eagle 8 HD when you're trying to read into a situation. But as soon as we find out for certain as to what exactly is going on, we'll let you know about it. But based on, again, the vehicles that we were observing here from the sky, we thought that maybe that they were going to be taking these dolphins in a transport vehicle out to open water. It looks like now perhaps that they are trying to encourage them just in the direction of open water, get them far enough down along the canal where it's no longer a danger, just kind of steering them in the right direction, and hopefully that they continue in that direction towards open water. It'll be interesting to see what happens here, what transpires, but this is live, everybody. You're looking at this live here from Eagle 8 HD. Let's get you back out here full screen to our chopper cam as we're following this here in St. Petersburg, Florida, in Pinellas County. I believe that we have lost sight now of the dolphins. Marilyn noting in the comment section, that's a long way to open water. It really is, and that's why I think we were under the assumption that a transport vehicle was going to be used to physically carry them out of the water and then back into open water. So Eagle 8 HD, pilot and actually our photographer, the pilot is maneuvering now, and now photographer Dave Kraut is trying to relocate the dolphins that have that was a 6-lane short bridge there that you saw. So we have lost the dolphins underneath that particular structure, and now we're trying to scan the waterway here to find where they went. I believe it is 4 adult dolphins, 1 calf. Let's see if we can listen in here to our photographer.
Bridge to see if they're coming this way, because we can't see anything from the other side. So there's the kayak. They're getting out.
Again, everybody, this is photographer Dave Kraut here in Eagle 8 HD. He's talking to our control room here.
Walking.
Does you hear Dave here?
They must be underneath the bridge.
Yep.
So I don't see any dolphins at all, any dolphin activity. Yeah. That must be hung up underneath, not hung up, but they must be hanging out underneath that road. Yeah. Yeah, he's probably just seeing if they went downstream, but you would think they would have spotted them.
All right, everybody. We're now going to be bringing in 8 on Your Side reporter Megan Gannon. Megan, if you can hear me, I actually believe that you should be able to hear me now. Hey there, Megan. What is the very latest that you have there for us?
not too long ago, before FWC and the Clearwater Marine Aquarium, all the volunteers that you guys have been looking at in the water before they actually got in, we got a briefing of kind of what was going to happen. We know that it is a total of 4 dolphins, so 2 adults, 2 calves. One of the calves is very young. I think the FWC officer or FWC biologist we spoke with said that one of the calves is about a year old, so still very young, but they're all okay. They're fine. What they were doing is that they think that the dolphins, what they do is they echolocate. So they think that the dolphins kind of got stuck in this canal area and viewed that 4th Street bridge right there that they just hopefully went under. They viewed that as a barrier, as something that they couldn't pass back through. So that's why they created the human chain, and they were making the noise. You saw them kicking their feet, clapping their hands, trying to make some noise to push the dolphins essentially under that bridge to get them beyond that point that they thought that they were stuck. So that is what is happening. That's what you guys have been viewing from Eagle 8 HD. That's the latest that we have right now. I know we thought earlier that there were a lot of different dolphins out here, but we know it's a total of 4, 2 adults, 2 calves. And now the volunteers are just working to try to get them past this barrier so that they can hopefully continue on through the canal and get back out into open water.
So, Megan, if I understand correctly, so once they have gotten past that bridge, they won't be able to. The idea is they won't be able to go past that bridge, and the hope is to encourage them towards open water because they won't be able to get past that point again.
I believe so. I think what happened was they obviously came up this canal. I was told earlier from PIO with Clearwater Marine Aquarium. There's a lot of fish, obviously, that travel up in this canal. So they were obviously probably in here, and they got stuck. They viewed that bridge right there as a barrier. I think because of the noise, obviously cars going over it. A lot of people have been out here watching the dolphins. So they were kind of, I guess, scared in a sense to go through it because they thought that they could not. So the volunteers were sort of creating that chain that you guys saw to try to push them through it, to let them know that they can get past that bridge. And the volunteers are hoping that once they get past that point, they'll recognize that they can get back out into open water and hopefully keep nudging them back towards the bay. I asked if there was sort of a timeline, of how long this could possibly take. They're hoping that this happens as quickly as possible. I know all of you have been kind of watching this unfold all morning. So they don't have a specific timeline of how long this will actually take them until the dolphins are back out in the bay, but they're hoping to keep an eye on them. And the biggest thing at this point was just getting them past that 4th Street bridge.
Right, and we have had that happen, but it seems, and we've been following this here from Eagle 8 HD, Megan, so we saw them go underneath that bridge, the 4th Street Bridge, and then we haven't actually seen them since. So is the belief on the ground right now, again, everybody, 8 on Your Side reporter Megan Gannon is right there on the ground there where this is all happening. Is the belief that they're under the bridge or they have reemerged on the other side of the bridge and are somewhere else? Because right now, photographer Dave Kraut is scanning the waterway here from Eagle 8 HD, trying to find them, but we can't actually see them from the sky.
I think the belief is that they have gone under the bridge. I have not talked with anybody from FWC or the Clearwater Marine Aquarium at this moment, so I will work to get that updated information. But I believe that is the belief at this point is that the dolphins have went under the bridge.
Right, but we don't know if they're still down there. We believe that they have probably reemerged on the other side of the bridge, or at least that's the hope, right?
Right, that is the hope. That is the hope. I know earlier when we were speaking with the biologist from FWC, the biologist was telling us that because the dolphins are, okay, they weren't in any danger or anything, they weren't going to be super aggressive at this point. They wanted them to naturally get back out into the bay. So that's why they were kind of creating this chain. So we're working to, of course, get updates since this is like very quickly unfolding to figure out where exactly the dolphins are at this point and everything. But the hope is that they've passed this bridge and they're now on the other side, and hopefully will continue to move on towards the bay.
Yeah, again, everybody, Eagle 8 HD right now is scanning the waterway here as we're on the phone with 8 on Your Side's Megan Gannon. We're looking for these dolphins that have not really been seen at the surface of the water since the since going underneath the 4th Street Bridge. Hey, Megan, we saw that there were a couple of different FWC vehicles there on site, and we were wondering if whether or not they were going to be transported in one of those utility vehicles, but that's never really been in the game plan, right? The whole idea is just to get them far back along the canal enough where they get back into open water?
Yeah, so that was not the plan. Obviously, at this point, the biologist we spoke with earlier saying that, because they weren't in any danger or anything, they were just going to try to get them naturally back out into the bay. They weren't going to bring any nets. They weren't going to work to transport them.
Megan, I'm gonna hold you there for just a second because Eagle 8 HD, everybody, has, I believe, found the Dolphins. So there, yeah, and I hear some celebration here coming from the control room. So I believe that they are out in open water here, everybody. So this is great news that we are sharing with you here live on WFLA Now. The Dolphins are back out into open water here. Again, Eagle 8 HD now zooming out to show that they have left the canal. So Megan, I don't know if you can see it because obviously you're on the phone here with us, but the Dolphins, at least, we'll have to do a count here if we can from the sky, but.
Yeah, I'm looking at the feed right now on my phone, and I can see that they have, like you guys said, have reached back out. They're kind of out of that canal and kind of back into open water at this point. So that is good news. Obviously, that's what FWC wanted. They didn't want to have to worry about transporting them, putting them in one of their trucks and then moving them. They kind of wanted to have them do this on their own and keep all of them together. That was a big point that they were making, is that because it's adults and two calves, they wanted to keep the pod together so that they weren't separated.
All right, everybody. 8 on your sides. Megan Gannon has to get ready for her live report coming up in our 11 a.m. newscast on WFLA News, Channel 8 again. We're following breaking news here from St. Petersburg, where the Dolphins that were stuck in the St. Pete Canal here that we've been following over the last half hour, they have returned to open water. I can't tell, Megan, if they're kind of celebrating here, but they look like they're splashing around in open water, probably more comfortable in a depth that they're usually accustomed to. Of course, the canals are far more shallow, so it looks like they're pretty happy. But Megan, thanks for calling in. We'll let you get back to it.
All right, thanks, JB.
All righty, thanks, Megan. All right, everybody, we're going to stay with you here live on Eagle 8 HD. I see that a lot of you are celebrating here in the comment section. That's really awesome. I want to just kind of update the information on the bottom of your screen. Let's see if I can get that actually updated here for you, everybody. There we go. We have members and we have folks in our control room, everybody, who are celebrating. Just this is a really cool story. This is a really neat story that. Again, for those of you just joining us, we're going to kind of backtrack here for a second because this is pretty neat. A group of Dolphins, as you heard, 8 on your sides, Megan Gannon report, 2 adults and 2 calves. So a family of Dolphins, they were observed getting way too far into a canal that goes into a St. Pete neighborhood. It was quite the spectacle for folks in that neighborhood because they see manatees, every so often, but it's very rare that they see dolphins. Dolphins are not supposed to be that far into the canal. Again, we're talking about underneath bridges of traffic. We're talking about like right there in St. Petersburg, as we're seeing Eagle 8 HD kind of zoom in here, and we'll bring you out here live, full screen, everybody. There they are. It looks to me like they're celebrating, right? You'd like to think that they're celebrating, having fun. There's a great shot, really, of the adult and one of the calves together here. So we saw a human chain get formed by FWC and volunteers that helped kind of scurry along the Dolphins in the right direction. They did not want the Dolphins going even deeper into the canal, farther away from open water. The idea was to kind of turn them around and get them back out to open water. And it was really wild to see from the sky from Eagle 8 HD. If you go back in this video, back in this live stream, you'll be able to see that human chain that was formed to help the Dolphins get moving in the right direction. There you see a school of fish there too. We have a great picture here, great lighting right now for this perspective here from Eagle 8 HD. And after about what we believe was about an hour-long effort, maybe it might have been even longer because Eagle 8 HD got there as the process was already happening. The Dolphins have now returned to open water. They disappeared underneath the 4th Street Bridge and then reemerged on the other side into open water, which is, of course, great news to see. So, again, as you see there on the bottom of your screen, everybody, breaking news. This family of dolphins back in open water after they were stuck in the canal. A story that many of you were clicking on WFLA.com and the WFLA News Channel 8 app. I'm going to just give let's see here. Let's give a shout out to some of the commenters. Adelis Nunez says, wow, amazing. Carol Thomas says, yes, the Gulf is shallow. I was wondering if maybe even just a little bit of a change in depth, maybe from the canal to the Gulf, even if it was a matter of inches or maybe even a foot or so. I'm not exactly sure of the water depth here in this particular area of Tampa Bay, but it would be interesting to see, of course, if they looked like they were celebrating there in that moment, and maybe they were just celebrating being able to move just even a little bit more freely through the water. John Molesky joining us. Mike Sizemore joining us. Tara Lalevy, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, joining us. Dorinda Fry, Mika Davis, Nancy Augustine, Kathleen Angelone, Sherry Termolin, Frankie Heinem, and Karen Rochford. So many of you joining us here on WFLA Now as we're following this live feed here. We're going to stay up here live on Facebook for just a couple of more minutes. Really, what a great story. A story that we're going to be, of course, showcasing more in our newscast tonight on WFLA News Channel 8 about how not just the state, not just FWC, but really a team of volunteers collaborating with the state to help these dolphins get back out into open water. So it's really great to see. I want to give a shout out to a couple more commenters. If you're here with us this long, that means that you've been with us here for, the latter half of the story where, again, breaking news, the Dolphins have returned to open water here. Let's see. Tori Wiley, Tamara Brock, Tara Lavile. I can't pronounce that one. Tara, apologies. Cynthia Howerton, Beth Baugh, Amy Charbonneau, and Dorinda Fry. Many of you, and Ginger Evans also. Everybody joining us here on WFLA Now. Really neat that we were able to bring this story to a happy ending, a good conclusion, as we look here at some of the kayakers in the area. Really neat. So everybody, we're going to have a lot more. In 10 minutes from now, our 11 a.m. newscast begins, the midday show, News Channel 8 at 11 a.m., WFLA in Tampa Bay, your NBC station. Tune in to Channel 8. You'll be able to see Megan Gannon's live report, the very latest on these Dolphins reemerging in the waterways of Tampa Bay, out of the canal, back where they ought to be. And it was all thanks to a great team effort by FWC and volunteers in St. Petersburg, Florida. Julie saying we've only seen one set. Is the other set out? I think that's what we're trying to confirm right now too here. What Megan is trying to confirm. And we'll of course let you know in the 11 a.m. newscast. But everybody, we got to get going here on WFLA Now. We got to get ready for our 11 a.m. newscast. Tune in. 11 a.m. That's in 10 minutes from now. News Channel 8 at 11 with Megan Gannon's live report. I think we'll hear from FWC officials as to whether or not all four of them are out in our waterways. I believe that is the case, though I'll of course step aside for Megan's reporting when it does in fact happen in 10 minutes from now. Everybody, I'm JB Buno. Thanks so much for being with us here on WFLA Now. We really appreciate it. We'll see you soon. More on the story on WFLA.com and the WFLA News Channel 8 app.